Memory can be a tricky thing. It can help us remember some of our greatest moments and remind us of some of our largest failures. Memories also hold a lot of power, and in that power there exists influence, and that influence can lead to accepted norms or stigmas. This is what has led to some series being fondly remembered while others are hated with a passion. So, with JJK's manga coming to an end, I'm left wondering, how will it be remembered, especially when the anime finishes in a few years? While it's had both high points and low moments, I wonder, when the smoke is cleared and we're further removed from the official ending, in what way will JJK be remembered? If you like this video and videos like this, make sure to subscribe for more content like this. Also, there will be manga spoilers ahead, so just a heads up, if you have not finished the manga, here's your warning. With all that being said, let's get into the video. Jujutsu Kaisen, or more commonly known as JJK, has been extremely effective at crafting characters that the audience can love. Whether it's in their designs, their backstories, their abilities, or whatever, there are a multitude of characters that people love or love to hate. And this is worth mentioning because JJK boasts a large cast, a cast that could easily be too large, yet even with a cast this size, there are multiple characters that are fan favorites outside of our main trio. The likes of Gojo, Toji, Sukuna, Maki, Mahito, and Geto are just some examples of characters that are beloved within various pockets within the JJK fandom. The effective creation of a large cast to tell the story of JJK is truly impressive, because so often a story can introduce too many characters just for a majority of them to either feel useless and forgettable, or to actually be useless and forgettable. I need to make sure I note that JJK is not perfect in its handling of the various characters that exist within the story. It does at times fall victim to the same issue I mentioned previously regarding having too many characters, but I would make the argument that this happens less often than the alternative. To put it simply, JJK is typically pretty effective in how it handles its introductions to and uses of the various cast members, which helps create a world that feels fully realized. The world of JJK is uplifted not only by its diverse cast, but also by its intriguing narrative. The plot elements and the storylines that permeate the events of JJK create an experience that keeps the audience wanting more. The ways the story handles build-up and payoff are both exciting and gratifying, while leaving room for moments of uncertainty and wonder. The flow from one arc to the next feels seamless due to the construction of the story and the plethora of narrative breadcrumbs that have been placed for us, the audience, to follow. The story of JJK is not known for being the most unique, but it is looked at as being well handled, and this is proven time and time again as one reads or watches the events unfold. And even though the story isn't particularly distinct, the power system is. Cursed energy and cursed spirits feel fully realized and effectively integrated within Jujutsu society, which makes the usage of it both interesting and necessary to the story. Yes, cursed energy can be confusing at times, but that's kind of expected for this type of power system, which seemingly takes inspiration from the power system of Hunter x Hunter's universe, Nen. It's okay for moments to be a little confusing, so long as there's a level of understanding and repetition that's being established to help the audience follow along. It's by utilizing this complex power system, intriguing plot, and infectious characters that JJK is able to create some truly magnificent moments. From Yuji's fight with Hanami, to Geto's rage at Toji for killing Amanai, and seemingly Gojo, at multiple times JJK has created moments filled with heightened emotional investment. This emotional jump rope that we're forced to engage with is a hallmark of a truly great experience. Without any emotional investment, a story can be good, but it can't be compelling. So JJK ensures that it is compelling through its intentional utilization of the previously mentioned components, and for the most part, it does an amazing job. I've discussed some of the strengths that are highlighted within the story of JJK, and yet I still wonder, how will it be remembered? But why? If all that I've said is true, it'll be remembered as an amazing top-tier anime, right? Well, not necessarily. It's because of the strengths that I've underscored that there is room for uncertainty. A story isn't solely judged based on how well it starts and how good it feels at the midpoint. It's judged in its entirety, which includes how well it ends. And it's there where I think JJK runs into some problems. The ending of JJK feels like a vast departure from almost all the traits I listed previously, with a great example of this being how Sukuna was handled. Now, Sukuna was introduced as a threat to the Jujutsu Society, and potentially the world at large. He was known as the strongest of his era and potentially the strongest individual to ever wield cursed energy. Sukuna was subtly and not so subtly built up to be the final opponent in JJK, and we, the fans, were itching for that final confrontation. And once we got it, we were severely disappointed. Sukuna was hailed as being a genius with cursed energy, yet in his final clash with the Kusakabe Coalition, he seemed to rely on both skill and luck. This doesn't sound too bad, as there have been many characters throughout anime that have gotten help from their respective mangakas. So Sukuna is not unique in that regard, but where he is unique is in how he abused this luck. Watching the various fights that Sukuna engaged in became increasingly infuriating as time went on. The amount of times he was dead to rights just to hit a black flash and replenish all of his cursed energy was insane. The amount of times a technique was stated to affect Sukuna on a spiritual level, just for it to do basically nothing a couple of chapters later, was laughable. The amount of time Sukuna kept his heart beating for, manually mind you, beating for, without being able to use reverse curse technique to heal himself while being hammered by powerful and effective attacks and techniques was utterly ridiculous. Sukuna changed from being a character in the story to being an obstacle that the story needed to keep around, and if you read JJK, it's blatantly obvious. Gon was the antagonist that we either loved or loved to hate, and in his place was a plot device that spit in the face of all the established norms that had been built up over hundreds of chapters. This deviation in character writing and plot convenience was asinine and killed all the narrative momentum that JJK had been working so hard to establish. And unfortunately, this is a pattern throughout the ending of JJK. The story's later chapters are almost solely filled with fighting Sukuna, which, as I've already stated, lacked tension and cohesion, yet another thing that occurred was death baiting. Yes, you heard me. The King of Curses fought multiple individuals and only killed a couple of characters outside of Gojo, even though we were led to believe that most of the coalition had been sent off to visit the Honored One. This reality is simply stupid. This means that not only was the biggest fight to decide the fate of the world full of plot contrivances and a butcher to the character of one of the most important individuals in the series, but it also lacked any stakes. There is no way that the Sukuna that I was introduced to, that you were introduced to, that existed throughout most of the story, could fight for as long as he did, keep replenishing his curse energy, keep his heart beating manually, and barely kill anyone. This makes the fight feel almost pointless. The biggest thing that happened was Gojo's death, and that's infuriating for its own reasons. It feels like the narrative direction for JJK was lost or abandoned, and Gege just decided to troll the audience for over half a year. This departure from the previously praised elements of the series are painfully apparent and left many of us with a bad taste in our mouths when JJK finally wrapped up. The decision to take the story in this direction was utterly disappointing and spits in the face of everything we had been told and led to believe as we experienced the story of JJK. And it's that departure from excellence that leaves me wondering, how will JJK be remembered? Now, JJK is not an anomaly. There have existed many anime and many series that have garnered the hearts of millions just to leave them in a state of anger and confusion and frustration with how it concludes. The likes of Attack on Titan and Game of Thrones are a couple that are top of mind, and I believe that they provide us with an answer. I believe that JJK will be remembered as a great anime with a bad ending. It's as simple as that. I don't think that the good things that exist within JJK will be ignored, similar to Attack on Titan or Game of Thrones, but I do believe that its ending will hold it back from being considered a truly top-tier anime. And there's nothing wrong with that. JJK doesn't need to be the greatest of all time to be captivating and compelling. Yes, a majority of the fan base would have preferred a better conclusion to the story, myself included, but JJK is still a great anime filled with a cast of characters that will be loved and discussed for the foreseeable future, and I think that should be celebrated. The emotional connection a lot of us have developed with the story will remain, and that's a testament to what JJK was so good at achieving. To put it simply, JJK is not a perfect anime, nor did it achieve all that we may have wanted it to, but it left an impact, and it gave us all something worth remembering. Thank you all for watching the video. If you like this video and want more like it, make sure to subscribe and like this video. Also, let me know in the comment section, how do you think JJK will be remembered, both now, in the near future, in the distant future? What do you think people's memory of JJK will be? Let me know in the comment section. With all that being said, I'm Wheat. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video.